season 1 feels so tiny in comparison to where we are now. But at the end of the day, it hasn't changed from season 1 in the sense that it all comes down to these characters. And that's what people care about.
We went into production without having a finished script for the finale. That was scary because we wanted to get it right. It was the most important script of the season.
Like, if we're trying to sell it as she's gonna kill herself, and then she kills herself.
Yeah.
Is she still deciding? Has she already decided?
We think she's made the choice to live.
I don't know.
Just kidding, she hasn't. Just kidding, she did. Like, that's where
I don't know if we have
go.
to play it like that.
That is how we
I don't know if we have to play that.
How would we play it?
We keep it ambiguous. We keep it ambiguous.
No, I mean,
up to the moment
if she comes back and has in a moment with Hopper.
So close.
Ross and I had no interest in writing at all.
We are laying down the tracks as the train is going.
It's such a puzzle piece to put this whole thing together.
I hope it works. I can't wait to see it. I hope it all comes together. An action sequence this enormous could have very easily been taken over by visual effects, but the Duffer Brothers say, yeah, do it practically. We want to see it in actuality.
Ideally, the thing stands up like a big spider and can do a chase, some version of a chase.
I don't even know what a chase looks like.
I guess, like, I maybe feel wonder about demo fatigue at the...
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
But why do we have to have them in the desert?
Because they run through the entire cave system. Henry is chasing them now. They run out the upper exit and then down into the desert. And then I don't know what the fuck happens to them.
We're not going to get a final script in time for you to do this, so we're going to have to base it on conversations with them.
That's it, yeah. We're just going to have to figure it out.
It's funny because when I read that script, all the crew members would walk by and go, have you read it yet? You know, it was like they knew. Ooh.
At the end of the day, the audience cares most about the characters and not the spectacle. But the ultimate goal is to collide the two.
Today's a very interesting day. We are shooting episode 8, which isn't completely written yet, spoiler alert. So we don't even fully know what's going on.
This is so weird, jumping to 8. Yeah. Don't love it. Don't love it. I gotta be honest.
You have to do what you gotta do.
Hey, pictures up. Rolling.
It started out season 1 us going, everything has to be practical. But we've got a monster that's the size of, like, 3 buildings. And so obviously that's going to have to be computer graphics.
Frankly, Ross and I have a lot of trouble framing up shots when you're just looking at an actor on blue screen. I don't really understand what looks good, what doesn't look good.
I mean, the thing that's cool is the giant monster.
So Stranger Things is officially over. I don't need to explain what Stranger Things is. One of the biggest shows of all time. 10 plus years, especially, if you're of a certain age, you grew up with this show. Mm-hmm. And Netflix decided to release the 5th and final season in parts, and the final volume dropped on New Year's Day here in the UK. And there have been many thoughts about it. And I also have many thoughts about it. You've kind of, you're not really on board with Stranger Things. You haven't been for a while.
Even after the second season, I started to see issues. I felt like it grew too big for itself. It was working for a hell of a lot of people. It was working for Netflix, and it completely made sense financially why they fucking continued it, but I felt like that was the problem. Like you said as well, it didn't feel inherently in the first season like they were setting up this big scope of the story to last for 5 seasons.
Despite what the Duffer Brothers might say, I just don't believe that.
It's almost like they are making it up as they're going along.
Yeah. So this final season, I was definitely giving the benefit of the doubt within the first 2 volumes. I think volume 1 is actually pretty solid, and people were still complaining then. But I was thinking, look, we've got to wait till it ends, give them a chance, see what the ending is. And with that final episode, this will probably echo what a lot of people have said. I mean, though slightly less negative, because, some people were saying that it's as bad as the finale of Game of Thrones, which I still need to experience properly.
Yeah.
I do not think it's on that level, again, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
There are still some positives to it, but I think overall, as a conclusion of the lore, it is disappointing. Yes, and there's a lot that just could have been improved on. I think it is a fantastic ending for the characters because there's a prologue towards the end, which is very Return of the King style, if you know what that means. Like, so in Return of the King, they wrap up every character's journey, and it's like a very extended scene, and they do that for the characters at the end of this show.
Right.
I thought that was great. That was very poignant.
Almost one by one kind of.
Yeah, one by one, just showing what they're doing. Very poignant, very well written.
Right.
You know, and it will make a lot of people cry. But just the way they concluded the lore, I think, was so disappointing, especially with what they had set up, even in with season 4, and just the very foundations of this show.
I find that so crazy because they had so much time in this series to explore it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, some of the episodes are like 2 hours. The finale was like 2.5, was it? Something like that?
Yeah. Bloody long. Yeah, very long.
Yeah, and people, I think the biggest complaint people made, just looking at the whole season, was the penultimate episode as well.
I see why they had Will come out, because the actor Noah Schnapp is gay as well.
Right.
It's and they had been building to it, to be fair, in season 4.
Right.
But it just, in the context of the story, it was just so inopportune. Like, you have Vecna still out there.
Yeah.
And the Demogorgons are still running around. And Will just goes there. He has to, announce to everyone that he's gay.
Yeah.
And it also doesn't help that I don't think Noah Schnapp is the greatest actor.
Right.
He's great at the physical stuff. Like in episode, I think 4, which is actually one of the highest rated,
right,
where Will gets his powers. I thought that was fucking great. And that's still a very solid episode, and kind of saves like the first volume. Like, I think the first volume is still pretty solid of this season. He's great with the, just looking scared and the physicality. But every time he spoke, I was like, bro, you just sound so bored. I don't believe what you say. He's just like, yeah, so like, what are we gonna do?
Was he always like that?
No, he was better when he was a kid. When he was a kid, he was very good at crying and acting scared. Like in season 2, he was great. He was one of the best child actors in the whole show.
Right.
But as he got older, not so much. And that does go for some of the kids, especially, Finn Wolfhard, who is very much, Mike is the heart of the show.
Right.
Bro looked so bored. And I felt that in season 4 as well. He's a little better here, but he looked so over it.
What about 11, Millie Bobby Brown?
She's fine. I think as the seasons have progressed, they haven't given an 11 very much to do.
Oh, okay.
If I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But everyone else is still pretty fantastic. Like, especially Sadie Sink, who you'll know from The Whale.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, the ginger girl from The Whale. I think she is the best actress, of the kids.
Okay.
And has a very, strong career ahead of her.
Right.
And then Caleb McLaughlin, who's Lucas, is still fantastic. And then Joe Keery, Steve Harrington, just the coolest guy in the world.
Yeah.
He's still great.
Do you feel like that a lot of the series was padded out?
Yes. I think so. And you could say that about season 4, but having looked back and having sat with this season, I appreciate season 4 a hell of a lot more, and that was still criticized at the time.
Right.
Because that was quite padded out and very big and quite indulgent. I feel like there have been points, especially particularly season 3 and parts of season 4, even though I love it, where this show has gotten quite indulgent with how big it has gotten. Like specifically season 3, where they had Russians underneath the shopping center opening a door to the Upside Down. And it was this show is just not what it was. It's not this small town horror thriller. The Duffers, they've just gone a bit ahead of themselves.
Right.
And just a little padded out, especially this volume. They especially did not need to split it into 3. I think it could have been 2 volumes.
I've heard
just wait a week for this last episode for context. Yeah.
It's funny. There's been many occasions where I've been sat on the train and I've overheard people talking about this show. And all of it has been negative. There was these 2 girls on the tube that were just saying, in particular, about the acting as well. And there was 2 guys on another occasion that were talking about the dialogue. And I think you've said that people would mention that as well online.
Yes. So I think with the dialogue,
is it kind of goofy now or something?
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with that. I guess up until the first volume. I don't keep going back to that, but
right.
Since season 3, the show has always been a little corny because it's very much inspired by Stephen King and Spielberg. Very, where's its Stephen King influence on its sleeve? The show is very much indebted to Stephen King in many, many ways. And the corny charm, I think, was part of the show. And I honestly, I quite enjoyed some of the dialogue. It's very snappy, very witty, because that's what the Duffer Brothers are great at. They're great at character moments and dialogue.
Did it feel like when the kids... This is something I had an issue with. I had a problem with the dialogue in season 2. It felt like the kids were not talking like real kids at all. It felt like there were adults speaking through the kids, like adult writers.
I never felt that, but I guess the writers had a very specific way of writing.
Yeah.
I didn't find that personally, but going back to season 5, I think the big problem people had is that, so whenever the characters have to make a plan, they will, it'll be a long tracking shot and they'll do this thing where they grab an object and say, this is Will, this is Vecna's asshole. But they don't actually say that.
Right.
Like they're explaining the plan, they're like grabbing objects and shit.
Right.
Those scenes I didn't actually mind the first few, and even when people were criticizing them. But I think it's because every 10 minutes it would be them over explaining what they're gonna do. So this alien's there, that alien's over there.
Right.
And it may be like, because a lot of people mentioned this, it might be a mandate from Netflix with their second screen policy. I don't know if you know about that.
What's that? Sorry.
Where like they have to make certain things within a show more digestible because people will be looking at their phone.
Oh, sorry.
And
Yeah.
and a lot of people have brought that up with this show.
Yeah.
And I can kind of see it, especially with these explanation scenes.
Oh, fuck.
Which after the 5th time, I was kind of with everyone else. Like,
Yeah.
I still like some of the dialogue. I like how witty it is, but it's a bit too much.
That's-
You don't need to be grabbing every object in the room, explaining what the plan is.
Man. Netflix should not be doing that.
You
Look,
know?
if you want to watch it, go home, sit and watch it on a TV. And if you watch it on a phone and you miss stuff, then deal with it. You should not be compromising your storytelling like that. You know what I mean? That is terrible, in my opinion, and that's something I hate
That is a problem people have
about
with this
Netflix shows. Yeah.
But I mean, I think the best thing to come out of this season is dipshit Derek, who I'm just gonna.
Oh, I've seen it online. Yeah.
Yeah, just Derek is the hero. I think he should have been the one to kill Vecna. To be honest,
Did he
Not
come up
Joyce,
in the
just
5th
Derek.
season? Was he in the 4th season?
No, only in the 5th season.
Right.
They introduced one of the greatest side characters in the world. He doesn't give a shit. He's an icon.
Yeah.
Has just so much game. Suck my fat one. His iconic catchphrase. Just loved it. Shit, Derek. But the other thing that is very interesting about, now that the show has ended, is Netflix just released a documentary about the making of the show.
Right.
And people have spoken a lot about this within the past year. It only came out a couple of days ago.
Right.
And it's basically just showing, like the writer's process and just the whole, the whole show's I guess behind the scenes process, making that final season. And it does not paint the Duffer Brothers in the best light.
Really?
They basically admit that, and I know this is very normal within the TV and film production to not always have a finished script.
Right.
But it literally cuts them filming parts of like the second to last episode being like, we don't even know what the end of episode 8 is going to be. It's not fully written.
While filming?
Exactly. And I think it's fine not to have every episode written whilst you're making a show that big. But when you're spending that much money, you are Stranger Things. That Netflix have put so much money into this bloody show. And the fact they had so long, because season 4 came out in 2022. They had a fucking long time to do it.
Yeah.
And the fact that they hadn't finished the script for this last episode.
That's crazy.
Even though, and the thing is, they and the interviews they've done have kind of bit them in the arse because they've been going on about how like everything was planned out and it's like so meticulous. And this documentary, it's just such a bad look.
Oh my God.
It kind of shows like they didn't really entirely have a plan.
Do you think in a way why did they say that in the documentary?
I don't know, because I think what happened, they assumed that like it would all come together. Like even though they didn't really plan out the last episode, like everyone would unanimously love it.
Yeah.
And it would be okay to release. They'd be like, oh yeah, we didn't entirely have a plan, but look how great it turned out.
Right.
And that's not how it's gone down.
So now
all.
it just looks bad.
And I'm actually going to point to a specific moment, and this is a spoiler for the finale.
Right.
So they go and fight a Vecna in a universe called the Abyss, which is
Right.
part of the Upside Down. It's another dimension. That's all you need to know.
Right.
And you remember what Demogorgons are? The weird little fit from the first season.
Yeah.
The monsters.
Yeah.
Right. So you would expect. And he's also there with the Mind Flayer, which is the thing like controlling Vecna, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You would expect there to be Demogorgons all over the place. Bats, dogs, like whatever the fuck. And there were none of it. And that was a big complaint for many people. They were like, they've gone to fight him. Why does it seem so easy?
Really?
Like so he's inside like a giant bug, and there are no henchmen
Right.
for our heroes to take down.
Right.
Takes them like 5 minutes. Like Nancy has a bloody shotgun like Rambo.
Right.
Dustin and Steve are throwing spears at the bug's arse, stuff like that.
Right.
And there is a bit where they're in the writer's room, and one of the writers says, why are there no Demogorgons in the Upside Down? It wouldn't make any sense if they weren't there. And keep in mind, this guy he's called Paul Dichter, I think that's his name, and he's written some of the best episodes of the show. He wrote the last episode, the first volume, called Sorcerer, and Dear Billy,
right?
The running up that hill scene, which is probably the highest rated episode of the entire show. So he's probably the best writer they have on that show.
Right.
And he says that, and then the Duffers, I can't remember which Duffer it was, and this other writer go, oh yeah, but we've got demo fatigue. Which makes no bloody sense, because these are the flagship monsters of your show.
Yeah.
And the fact that a writer is saying this, and the fans have been echoing it.
Yeah.
It's shocking. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, this is just reminding me of Benioff and Weiss so much, man. The last season.
No, I think the Duffer Brothers will be all right. They're not. I think they were foolish and naive, maybe not as arrogant. No, arrogant to some degree, because how can you not be? Because the show has been so beloved and successful.
They should have listened to that. They should have listened to that fucking writer.
Yes.
Absolutely. Especially if he wrote like the most iconic episode and the finale of season 1. They should definitely. They should have had that guy taking charge. Taking fucking charge. You know what I mean? Of what's going on. But I think it's one of those series that, and it's something I noticed very early on, is that the money is such a big part of the, why the show exists, because it, like you said, it's so indebted just inherently to Stephen King.
Oh yeah,
and
Spielberg as well.
It's just on paper, it just works. Okay?
Yeah, well, especially like that first season was such a lightning in the bottle.
It drew people in.
Exactly,
okay?
It caught something in the zeitgeist.
And I think it's just the case of weighing it up when you are in control of the writing and wrapping this story up that you've just thrown
over a decade.
So much in, and it's becoming so it sounds really contrived and almost like it doesn't really make sense. Like there's probably so many plot holes that I could.
Oh God, I can't even list them all, man.
What about plot armor? Was there plot armor?
A shit ton of plot armor, and actually that's another thing. So throughout the show, the Duffers have also been criticized for not killing off a main character.
Right.
What they have done is, starting from season 2, rest in peace, Bob, you're a legend.
Yeah.
Starting from season 2, they introduce a side character, you fall in love with them,
right,
and then they kill them off.
Yeah.
And that's how it's always been.
Did that happen again in the next seasons?
No, Alexei in season 3, and then Eddie season 4. Everyone fucking loved Eddie. They kill him off.
So they just bring a new character in just to kill him.
Who's just so beloved, so endearing.
Yeah.
They killed them off.
I'm surprised they didn't kill Derek.
Yeah. Oh no, man, they can't kill Derek, bro. Never kill Derek. No, we've never forgiven them for killing Derek.
Yeah.
But after season 3, when people noticed that, they were getting a lot of flack for being like, and from the cast, it's like, you won't kill anyone off.
It's fucking formulaic as well. You can see it from a mile away, right? You can see that they're making you fall in love with these side characters.
Yeah, and then they're just going to die.
Yeah.
And throughout this whole season, myself included, I fell victims of this. I was discussing with people, who's going to die?
Yeah.
Who's going to die? Which, in a way, I know you said before, is bad. You shouldn't want a character to die.
Yeah.
But I think it is important. It doesn't automatically make a story better.
No. From your perspective, I completely get it. Okay.
Yeah.
It needs to feel as though there are fucking repercussions.
Stakes. That's the main word.
To this story, okay?
Yeah, especially when with this story, they have gone on about how Vecna is such a big threat.
Yes, yeah.
And the way they were hyping this season up, like, it's going to be a very dark Christmas, you're going to be sobbing your eyes out.
Yeah.
That didn't quite happen.
But the nature of the writing feels so weird and so bad in the sense that viewers are literally getting together and saying how they actually want to see a character to die. Included, you should feel as though the writing, you should feel inherently, you should feel like the writing is all these characters are under threat, but you should never be wanting characters to die.
It got to the midpoint of this season, actually not even the midpoint, the last volume, when I think everyone came to the terms with they're not going to kill anyone off.
So they didn't kill anyone off?
Well, technically yes and technically no. So Eleven sacrifices herself.
Right.
But at the end, Mike tells this story that he's made up that this other girl with psychic powers who no one likes, called Callie, no one's favorite character at all, from one of the weakest episodes of the show in season 2, that Callie used her mind powers to make everyone think Eleven was dead. So Mike, that's Finn Wolfhard.
Right.
I feel like you know who I'm talking about. Yeah. He basically chooses to believe that Eleven didn't die, but she's gone off somewhere else.
Okay. So is she dead? Or no?
we think she's dead. She seems to be, but they've still done it in a way where it's like, maybe she is, maybe she isn't.
But does anyone really care? Because like you just said, 11 doesn't really have anything to do so much in the last series.
I don't know. People care and they don't, but it's because she was, one of the main characters of the show. She's what it all started with.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, no, 11 dies, but she doesn't. But I just realized towards the end.
But it's an easy character to have that happen to.
Of course.
You know,
and they were saying that they always planned for 11 to die, which is also disproven in the documentary, because I think one of the other Duffer Bros goes like, maybe we could keep her alive. So that was nonsense.
Yeah.
They're just digging such a hole for themselves. But yeah, I just realized they're not gonna. These characters, every main character has a plot armor. It's just crazy. You've gone through 5 seasons of a show over 10 years, and no one has died. And we love these characters.
Yeah.
But I just knew they were not going to kill Steve off in the end.
Yeah.
That is the one because that's who everyone loves, right? Everyone was betting, Steve's going to die.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, I don't know, Dustin even will die. And I just knew that wasn't going to happen. And the other interesting thing is they couldn't even kill off certain side characters. So, like, the parents of the kids. There is a really gruesome scene where they get attacked by one of the Demogorgons. Like the mum and the dad, and they survive it. And maybe it wouldn't have made the story that much better, but there would have been stakes if you had killed off Mr. Wheeler, for God's sake. And they didn't do that. So yeah, when you talk about plot armor and Stranger Things, it's everyone.
Yeah, oh God.
Really. And I do not think it's the worst ending in the world. Again,
Right.
the ending to the characters, very solidly done, very impactful, very moving.
Yeah.
But it's just, I wanted, when it comes to the lore and how much potential there was.
Do you think maybe
they? Do
you think they maybe purposely left the lore out for the finale? They didn't cap it up because they felt like, there's more room to set up for an inevitable spin-off.
No, I just think it's messy writing.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and it's a shame because, this show has been a part of, like, mine and so many people's lives for 10 years, fucking growing up with this show.
Yeah.
So it really, for a lot of people, it's like saying goodbye to old friends. They've grown with these characters.
Oh, mate.
It was such a big undertaking. Yeah, very messy, very disappointing.
Yeah.
And why did they release that documentary? I do not know.
Yeah, it just seems to do no good for them at all.
No,
I mean, fair play
not.
to them that they decided to be so honest about it.
Yeah, like, too honest.
Yeah, but if
Way
it
too
sounds
honest.
like they're saying things that are conflicting other things that they said in the past, kind of trying to paint this picture like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they
all
had
along.
this Bible that they were like,
bollocks.
really, such
Absolute
like,
bollocks.
detailed, like, writers.
Yeah,
that they built up everything, and
Yeah.
they hadn't. But yeah, man. Yeah, but it's disappointing, but not the worst. It doesn't ruin the rest of the show, but it's sad.
Yeah.
Knowing what it's building to. And then just one last thing, the visuals as well, because looked worse. And it's
Right.
weird because yes, they had the actors strike, but they had more time in between to work on it.
Right.
In season 4, like there's a comparison between the running up that hill scene. She goes back.
So
to
they
similar-
recreated the running up that hill scene.
Well, not even recreated it. Like they put her back in the same like dimension or whatnot.
Did they have the song again?
No, only briefly in the background. Because they knew they couldn't top that scene.
Yeah.
That scene is like one of the best in the show. That's such a good episode, man.
Right,
I'm even
right.
thinking about it now. But if you look at a side by side of the running up that hill scene and any scene in season 5 where she's in that dimension, the keying and the effects look so much worse.
Yeah, I saw some comparisons
Yeah,
actually. It
it's
feels
very
like
odd.
it feels like the character running through this world.
It
looked like the lighting was way off.
and,
like,
like-
it didn't feel like the cinematographer was the same at all. It felt like
and it's like
it didn't feel like they were in that environment.
Yeah, and like looking back, I mean, even though season 3, like, so she got too colorful.
Yeah.
It's really gorgeous to look at. Like seasons 3 or 4, visually, they're visually stunning, and I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Maybe they were rushed as well.
I think what I was alluding to before, it's almost as if when money is such a big factor, no matter what, you could write a piece of shit, people will still tune in. People, you know what I mean?
People are going to tune in for this. No
People
matter
will
what,
tune in.
me included.
They
you know,
will
it's
make
Stranger Things.
They will make absolutely shitload of money.
Yeah.
Netflix, the Duffer Brothers, everyone involved. It does not even really matter at this point. I think that can be a problem for writers because it feels like they can just kind of sit on their laurels a little bit and just kind of sit back and
Hope that
make it
works
up
out.
as it goes along.
That's what I think happened. I don't think they didn't care, but I think they were in over their heads. And maybe slightly arrogant as well. Because of how successful the show had been.
Well, when it doesn't matter either way,
There was
and,
a degree of arrogance there a
and
little
with the release strategy as well.
Like the volume.
Everyone tuning in at the same time on New Year's Eve?
To watch the finale.
To watch the finale, no matter what, people will be tuning in, whether it is shit or not. So does it really make a difference? You know what I mean? It depends what you care about, really, as writers, and it's just a shame. They should have, whatever writer you just mentioned, in the writers' room, they should have fucking listened to that guy.
Exactly.
Man.
Put
They
some
should have-
demogorgons in next to the fucking main villain. I do not understand that.
Oh, mate. Sounds so contrived. Sounds so messy. But it's a shame because it absolutely, I was never a fan, but it absolutely worked for a lot of people and captured the imagination of people. But it's a shame they didn't land it at the end.
They didn't land the plane.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe the inevitable spin-offs will somehow right the wrongs, but I doubt it, man.
At this point?
I fucking doubt it. Maybe if they get that writer on board again, but who knows?
Yeah.